Conflict is natural, and sometimes even necessary to work together effectively, but sometimes it escalates and makes it even more difficult to focus on what you need to get done. In this video, we'll cover some strategies to help you avoid or work through some potential conflicts in your group. Scheduling problems. Conflicting schedules can create roadblocks to getting things done. It's important to be understanding and put yourself in your group members' shoes. All the group members may have to compromise a little bit to find the best option. For example, Caitlin lives an hour outside the city. Her group always wanted to meet up on Friday when they didn't have any classes, rather than a day when they're already on campus. That meant that Caitlin had to drive an extra 2 hours to get there and back. She was frustrated because she felt that others weren't compromising or considering her situation. To fix their problem, Caitlin's group took turns picking the time and location of the meetings. That way, everyone had at least one meeting that was convenient for them. They also started having some meetings online using tools like Skype, Google Hangouts, and email. Interpersonal group conflict. As we mentioned before, conflict among group members is natural, but it can also distract you from working on your project. The important thing is to focus on your task. For example, Steve and Joe had a disagreement at the first group meeting, and they stopped speaking to each other. They only communicated to the other members of the group, which disrupted the group's collaborative environment. It wasn't a very effective team. To solve their problem, Steve and Joe realized they didn't need to become best friends, they just needed to get along well enough to work on their project together. They tried not to let personal feelings affect their work, even if their feelings were hurt. They also tried to be compassionate towards each other. Uneven contribution. Are some people doing too much or too little? This imbalance of work is a common complaint about group work. It creates tension and is unfair to group members. The best way to avoid uneven contribution is to set up clear guidelines and expectations at the start of your project. A good way to do this is to create a group contract. For example, in this group, Jessica was doing most of the work. She felt like Joe, Steve, and Caitlin were slacking off. They felt like Jessica wouldn't give up control and let them contribute. To solve this problem, the group made a contract where they assigned roles and responsibilities equally, so each group member knew what they were responsible for accomplishing. This made it apparent that Jessica had been taking on more than her fair share of the work, so the group split things up a bit more evenly. Different expectations. Different expectations create tension because the group is not working towards the same goal. Is the group working towards perfection or just passing? Are you going to work on the project in plenty of time or procrastinate? Early communication of expectations is key. It's also important to set realistic goals and to make a timeline of how the project will get done. For example, Steve is an overachiever and is working towards a perfect grade. He pictured a presentation of animated videos and handouts that require a lot of work throughout the semester. On the other hand, Joe would be happy with just having something to hand in. He was not prepared to spend a lot of time on the project. To solve their problem, they discussed their expectations and came to a consensus about what their goal was as a group. They set a realistic goal they felt that they could accomplish, and they made a timeline of how they could do it. Getting stuck. When you hit a mental roadblock, it is discouraging and can lead to procrastination and avoidance. When this happens, you can work together to brainstorm ideas. For example, when the group members were stuck, they were tempted to put off working on the project until later, hoping that inspiration would strike at some point in the future. That wasn't really a very effective way to work. Luckily, they were working in a group, so there were several people working on getting unstuck. They started by rereading the expectations and goals for the assignment, and then brainstormed ideas as a group. They created a mind map to visualize connected ideas. Groupthink. When members of a group agree with other members in order to avoid conflict, it is known as groupthink. There is one accepted point of view in the group, and everyone sticks to it. The problem with this is that groupthink stifles creativity and constructive evaluation of alternate ideas. Considering other perspectives and ideas will improve your process. For example, Caitlin had a really good idea, but she didn't speak up because she didn't want to rock the boat. Other people in the group all seemed to agree on a different point of view, so she kept her thoughts to herself. To solve their groupthink problem, the group embraced diverse opinions and thought about them critically. Caitlin decided to voice an alternative idea, and her group members considered it with an open mind. Try these strategies in your group projects to help your group run smoothly.